Hey everybody, welcome to All There Is. I'm your host, Kelly Bargabas. In today's episode, we're going to talk about numbers. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am a writer and now a podcast host, but I support myself by surrounding myself with numbers most of the time, all day, every day. I'm an accountant by trade and by background. I started out as a CPA, and I've built a career in accounting. I've been all the jobs all the way up through CFO most recently, and I've been CFO, COO, and I spend my day and my time with numbers. I live in Excel spreadsheets, and I can 10 key like nobody's business. That is my hidden talent. I know it's super nerdy, but when I started out in public accounting, Excel actually wasn't even there yet. It was Lotus 123, and computer reports were just starting to be generated. They were the green bar reports, and I would spend my day in a little room with no windows, and I would have this, it was probably 6 inches thick, these big reports, inventory and sales reports or whatever it was, the detailed ledgers for the company, and I would have to sit there with an adding machine and add up pages and pages of numbers to make sure that the numbers added up to the total on the report. I mean, that is what I did for 8 hours a day, probably the whole first 2 years of my career. So I have amazing 10 key skills. My point is, numbers are my thing. And at times at night when I go to bed, I have a hard time shutting off the numbers that are always running through my head. But anyway, I know numbers are a thing, right? And I know some people are really into numbers and what they mean. And there's a whole study of numerology, which I honestly know nothing at all about it. So I'm not even going to pretend that I do. I don't know. The only thing I know about it, and I wrote this little essay about it, is that throughout my adult life, the last 20 to 30 years, as long as I can remember as an adult, I see the same number when I look at the clock on my computer, on my phone, on my bedside table, my clock radio. I see the same number all the time. It just seems like, and it weirds me out. Like, there it is again. What does it mean? As I've talked about this with people, I've heard other people say the same thing. I know my one niece lately has been seeing the number 44 all the time. And my husband told me that he sees 11 all the time. And so I know it's a thing, but I have no idea what it means. The particular number that I see all the time is the day of my birthday. And just had a birthday last week. It is September 18th, which you'll find out as I read this. And I don't know. I don't know what it means. And so I wrote this little essay about it, trying to make sense of it. So I hope you enjoy it. It's lighthearted. It's not meant to convey any sort of knowledge about the study of numbers because I really don't know anything, but it's something that I've experienced. And, like everything in my life, I write about it to try to understand it. So here we go. The name of this piece is called 918. I reach for my glasses on the end table. I still only need them for driving or watching TV, so I leave a pair here in my car and in my purse. I definitely need them to see the clock on the cable box. 9:18. Again. I seem to frequently catch the digital clocks in my life set on 9:18. And by clocks, I mean the clock on the microwave, the Bose radio next to my bed, the clock atop the tall building downtown that I can see from my living room window when I have my glasses on, the one on my car dash, sometimes the lower right corner of my computer screen and the face of my iPhone. This wouldn't be an important detail except for this other detail. I was born September 18th. This has been happening for years, my entire adult life that I can remember. I'm convinced there's a meaning hidden in this odd detail, but I'm not sure what it is. Is it a cosmic sign? Is someone, the universe, trying to tell me something? If so, what would they be saying? Happy birthday? You may wonder if the message is that I'm too self-absorbed, that I go through life thinking everything is all about me. However, you should know that I'm not alone in experiencing this phenomenon. There are others, according to a numerology website, questioning this same detail in their life. The resident numerology expert had no meaningful answers for me. On that Sunday night my ex-husband left me, when he told me he needed space, a month or two, he said, I sat on our couch trying to hold back the torrent of grief that was just beyond my shallow breaths. All those words I wanted to say were trapped in my lungs, squeezing out all air and light. I looked up to the clock on the TV, and though it was blurred, it was there. 9:18. The familiar sign was an odd comfort. Although I was drowning and the life I'd known for the last 25 years was walking out the door, never to return again, I'd be okay. Perhaps the purpose of this detail is to remind me that I am here, that I was born for such a time as this, that my life matters. The time is now. It reminds me that the clock is ticking and we all only have so much of it. Someday it will run out. If I'm fortunate, I may have 55 more birthdays, Christmases, July 4ths. How long will I wait to change jobs, write that book, buy that house on the water, see Paris? How long will I wait to become the person I was meant to be? Perhaps the message is, what are you waiting for? Tick, tick, tick. And then again, I suppose it's possible that the message is simply, the time is now 18 minutes after 9. So there you have it. Maybe you can make more sense of it than I can. If you can, shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you, either on social media or on my website. You can shoot me an email. And you know what? If I get any interesting tips or answers on this phenomenon, I'll share them with the whole audience. I hope this was entertaining for you. I know for me, as I read that last paragraph, that perhaps the purpose of this detail is to remind me that I am here, that I was born for such a time as this, and how long will I wait to become the person I was meant to be? As I was reading that paragraph that I had forgotten about, it actually stirred me up. It actually got me. You know, like, what am I waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are we all waiting for? Time is finite. Time is short. This life is short. So let's all go out there and become the people we were meant to be. You can visit kellyvargabus.com to send me a message, to listen to past episodes. And until we meet again, take care.